This is a message from Mais Hamdan. She's a so-called actress, if you want to call her that, in the Middle East. I believe she's a Jordanian actress who is popular in Egypt. She appeared on a live broadcast in the Middle East, and she behaved outrageously. She was goading an audience on a live TV show to laugh at Filipinos. She put on this ridiculous accent that you couldn't tell whether it was Indian or whatever it was, supposedly trying to be clever, trying to make fun of Filipinos. Now, what she fails to realize is, if it wasn't for Filipinos, the Middle East would be a very lonely place indeed. Filipinos are engaged in many different professions, including as pilots, as engineers, customer services roles in the major hotels in the world, in the medical profession, as nurses, as doctors, as healthcare assistants, as cleaners in hospitals. The fact is, this lady needs to appreciate what Filipinos have actually done for the Middle East. The fact is, why get cheap laughs? Why insult the Philippines? And why almost get the audience to kind of have some kind of joke, if you like, or make some kind of fun of Filipinos? There's going to come a time where Filipinos don't have to go back home, back to the Middle East anymore. There's going to come a time where it's more beneficial for Filipinos to stay at home. And the Middle East needs to be very, very careful, because they will lose their Filipino workers. I hear so many stories every day of Filipinos who have been mistreated by their employers and paid very little salary. I can't understand it. Some Filipinos are working 18 hours a day or 20 hours a day, and they're only receiving £100 a month or £150 a month. Many in the Middle East are incredibly wealthy due to oil, due to family businesses, and they should appreciate their Filipino staff. I wonder whether this lady actually employs a Filipino herself, or when her family gets sick, who will be the ones who will be taking care of her own family? It will be Filipino nurses who will be taking care of her own family. So before she mocks and insults Filipinos by making some kind of joke, she needs to look at the circumstances, and she needs to be very careful with what she's doing. I'm very proud to have a Filipino family, and I'm a big supporter of the Philippines and passionate for what the Filipino people are doing around the world. She just didn't need to do this. She didn't need to somehow wait till the audience kind of laughed and then mocked the Filipino accent. What's wrong with people speaking in different ways? Even her name, Mais, doesn't Mais mean corn? Corny, get it? I can make a joke as well. I can make a joke about her. I'm just really, really annoyed and frustrated that she chose to insult Filipinos in this way. A lot of people have messaged me about this and asked me what I'm going to say about it. It reminds me of Davina almost. Davina was a nondescript person who insulted Megan Young, Miss World, and then she said things about Filipinos and saying they are dirty or whatever she said. The fact is, this Mais Hamdan woman is looking for her 5 minutes of fame. Okay, she's already a popular actress in the Middle East, but clearly she's doing it as some kind of a so-called joke. She just needs to be very, very careful, because one day Filipinos won't go back to the Middle East anymore. I just said on this Facebook Live, on the preamble, if you like, that how would you like it, Mais Hamdan, if you had to leave your kids or leave your children and work 4,000 miles away or 4,500 miles away for very little income, for like £150 a month, to work for 17 or 18 hours a day, to be treated as a slave, you know, for very little money. As Secretary Martin Adanar said recently, they had to rescue some Filipinos in the, I think it was in Abu Dhabi or in Dubai, who only earned literally £150 a month for 18-hour days. You know, this really needs to change. People in the Middle East need to have more respect for Filipinos. You know, I know there are some very nice families. I've been I'm very fortunate to have met some very nice families from the Middle East who care greatly for their Filipino staff and treat them as one of their own, you know, for many generations. And for all the OFWs out there with those brilliant families, amazing families, very good luck to you. But to the Filipinos who are being mistreated, treated as slaves, insulted, even beaten, even locked up, you know, this needs to stop. This needs to change. First of all, you start joking about Filipinos, and it means, Mais Hamdan, that you don't have any respect at all. I just dread to think if you have a Filipino working for you in your house and how you'll treat her, if you almost kind of joke, or how you'll treat him, if you almost kind of make a joke out of them or make a joke out of him. You know, it's not funny. You need to apologize for your actions and for your words. And every single member of that audience also needs to apologize, including the presenter. He was almost clapping along and joking and making some kind of big joke out of Filipinos. Does it really matter if people have different accents? You know, the fact is, they're still going to be cleaning your toilets. They're still going to be caring for your parents. And, you know, it just makes me utterly disgusted, and you should literally be ashamed of yourself. I am sick and tired of people making fun of Filipinos. You know, you had Catherine Ryan in the UK, a Canadian comedian, who said, we don't test our cosmetics on animals, we use Filipino children. The fact is, you know, there has to be a time where people stop taking Filipinos for a joke. You know, Filipinos make sacrifices, massive sacrifices, in terms of going abroad to another country. You know, that they don't even know the country, you know, that they're young people and they have to go abroad, and they sacrifice their families and sacrifice their children. And many of them don't even see their own children growing up, you know, they're not there for their graduation. They're not there for when their child learns to walk. They're not there for when their child goes through different stages of life. You know, that's the thing you need to look at. And the more people make fun of Filipinos, or the more they're disrespected in the Middle East, the less chance they have of being able to go abroad in the future. You know, it just really, really annoys me. I'm very proud of having a Filipino family. I'm very proud of having Filipino children, and very proud that I'm a person who loves the Philippines and respects the Philippines. I wouldn't dare ever make fun of any Filipino person. You know, the fact is, I hope this Mais Hamdan doesn't end up like in a hospital or in somewhere where she needs to be cared for by Filipinos. Because, you know, as much as you make fun of Filipinos, without them, your life would be very difficult indeed. You know, for example, if you travel on Etihad, you'll be flown most likely by a Filipino pilot. There are many Filipino pilots on Etihad and Filipino crew. You know, the building that you live in was probably engineered by a Filipino engineer, or designed by a Filipino architect. You know, why do it? Why go down to that level? As I said, I could do the same with you. I could make fun of you. I could make fun of your name. I could make fun of your voice, your accent. But I'm not going to do that. You know, I've got more decency. I've got more respect to respect other people, regardless of their religion, regardless of their nationality, regardless of their accent. We live in a world where we should respect each other. Is this a good message that we should be teaching to our children? You know, making fun of other people. This is playground stuff. This is bullying and classroom antics. It's not for a grown woman who apparently was a respected actress with over 5 million followers. Is this really the way that you need to behave? You know, I really do believe that you must apologise. I'm not sure if you've apologised already, but if you haven't, I really believe that you must apologise for disrespecting Filipinos in this way. Just before I go, I just wanted to read some of these comments from some of my friends. From Arsi, you are very kind, Malcolm. Thanks for defending. From Jose, thank you for your effort. From Freddy Sanchez, exactly, Malcolm. Filipinos are multiplayer, multi-talented, multitask. That's exactly right. You know, Freddy, there are Filipinos in every single walk of life. I've even met Filipino doctors in the United Kingdom, and there are Filipinos surgeons in Europe as well, you know? The fact is, without the Philippines, I believe the world would be a great loss. I really do believe that, you know, we owe a lot to the Filipino people. Next time you're in a hospital, next time, God forbid, if your parents go into elderly care, it's most likely going to be a Filipino who are looking after them and who are taking care of them. Show some more respect for the people that care for you, care for them in return, you know? Arlene, when I watched it, I'm really mad at her for making fun of our accent. I know our English is not perfect, but her English had an accent as well. Very disappointed of her. Exactly right, Arlene. You know, does it really matter whether somebody's English isn't perfect? The fact is, you have to understand that the business language of the Philippines is English. You know, and there are very, very highly educated Filipinos. Probably many of them are more educated than you, Mais. A lot of them have top university degrees and are outstandingly qualified. You know, you have to understand that. You know, what happens is you have somebody who graduated from university and is very, very qualified. And because there are no jobs in the Philippines, or not that many jobs, they're forced to go abroad and earn £150 a month and leave their children and leave their families and not see their children until they grow up, until they graduate from college. Is this something that you would like? You know, you should be helping these Filipinos. You should be donating money to causes as a result of what you've done, how you've caused so much outrage in the Philippines. There are Filipinos all around the Middle East who watched your comments, you know. Maybe there are some Pinoys who maybe are a bit shy and maybe not really good at talking, you know, making fun of their accent, making fun of the accent of others. Some maybe have low self-esteem. This is not helping. This wasn't a good move. You know, as I said to you, you got the whole audience to joke or to laugh or make some kind of mockery of Filipinos. It's just not acceptable. Al Main, what a great message. Hope this gets relayed to the ones who needs to hear it most. Well, Al, I hope you can share this, and I hope that we can somehow send this to the actress concerned. Way, thank you very much. Vanji watching from Canary Wharf, hi. Tars, thank you, sir, for protecting our rights. I salute you. Nicole, thanks, Malcolm. God bless. Gina, she already apologized. Just saw her. You know, okay, she apologized, but what does an apology mean? What does it do? You know, you've done the damage already. You've said it already. Okay, you've apologized. Great, but would you do it again? You know, you've gone on national television and you've made a mockery of Filipinos. You've joked about the Filipino people. You know, even if you apologize, the fact is, I just wonder whether your actions have helped the perception of your counterparts. You know, I'm just not happy at all. So, okay, so you've apologized. So, Mais, thank you for apologizing. It's appreciated. But the fact is, you know, stop to everybody. Stop making fun of Filipinos and the Filipino people. Don't regard Filipino as some kind of a joke. You know, this happens all the time, and it makes me utterly disgusted. There have been countless occasions, particularly with the BBC here in the United Kingdom, where Filipinos have been made a mockery of. First by Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse, where they were talking about shagging a Filipino maid. The fact is, it needs to stop. It needs to change. We all need to stand up for Filipinos. If you're a foreigner who's married to a Filipino, or if you're part of a Filipino family, you really need to be out there. You really need, like when we hold a protest, with the greatest respect, we see like 20 people in the protest. The only exception was when we did a protest outside the Daily Mail regarding the Filipino nurses who were insulted. We need to stick together. Well, we do need to stick together. And okay, Aisha said, I think Mais Hamdan already asked for forgiveness. Okay, that's great. She asked for forgiveness. Thanks very much. But why do it in the first place? If you're going to be doing this kind of thing in public, what are you doing behind closed doors? If you have Filipino carers, or if you have Filipino housekeepers in your house, how are you going to be treating them? So, I believe that Mais needs to make a Facebook Live video too, and I believe she needs to make a public apology and explain why she made fun of Filipinos in this way. As I said, there are some Pinoys who are very confident, who would just say this is a joke or this is some kind of not be interested. But there are some Pinoys who lack confidence, and some Pinoys who are concerned about their voice or the way they speak. Okay, so Juliet said she posted a video saying she was so sorry and didn't mean to hurt anybody. Okay, that's good. Well, thank you very much, Mais, for apologizing. It doesn't stop me for having wanted to make my comments as well. It doesn't stop me from responding. Everyone has to realize that when someone insults the Philippines, or when someone insults the Filipino people, there will be consequences. Something will be done about it. The Filipino people are a very caring people. They're a race who are caring, who are understanding, who are hardworking, and who are forgiving. But when you make fun of them, when you belittle them, expect a action in return. So yeah, let's just say one more thing before I end this video, and that's that I really, really would like to see a day where Filipinos are treated better and are treated with more respect when they work in the Middle East. It still can't be right that people who are working 15, 16 hours per day are only being paid £100 a month or £150 a month. I meet countless Pinoys around the UK, including in the Middle East and including the Philippines, and they all tell me that a lot of the time they don't see their children growing up. Imagine if you had to, if you didn't see your children take their first steps, or you didn't see your children graduate elementary school or, high school. This is just, I believe that children are best with their parents. It's all very well and good letting others look after your children, like grandparents, or even in some cases neighbours. This is just not a way to bring up children, and this has to stop. I know there are improvements, and I know there's a massive call centre industry now in the Philippines, but I really am hoping and praying that there will be a day where leaving the Philippines and working abroad is a choice and not a necessity. We all need to campaign for this. We need to write to the government. We need to, and to every single OFW around the world, you have my very best wishes. Maraming salamat po for what you're doing. Every day I receive messages from Filipinos across the world who tell me that it's hard in their job. There are stories of Filipinos who get mistreated. And, some of them aren't even allowed to use a mobile phone. They get a mobile phone confiscated from them. Is this really a life when their employers are incredibly rich and wealthy and they're getting paid such a small sum of money? Is this really a good life? Anyway, I've got somebody who wants to join the broadcast, and I'm going to let them Gloria is about to join. Much. Michael, thank you. Um, to Michelle from Riyadh, God bless you. To Jinky, God bless. To Ronalyn, greetings from Amman. Thank you for supporting our beloved President Duterte. More power to you, and God bless you and your family. Watching from Kuwait. So yeah, just a shout out to the many Filipinos across the world, all over the Middle East, to all our hardworking Filipinos worldwide, to all our nurses, doctors, engineers, and also those in a house, to the domestic workers. Thank you for whatever you're doing. You deserve every single respect. And you've contributed towards the Philippine economy. The Philippines was one of the only economies in the world that wasn't affected by the global recession. And this is down to you. This is down to your hard work and your sacrifice. Thanks so much, Marilyn. To Shane, thank you, watching from Riyadh. To Ernest, thank you very much. Maraming salamat. Elizabeth, apologize is accepted, but then they learned a lesson. Don't you ever underestimate Filipinos, especially our capacity. OFWs are not stupid as you think, Middle East people. That's exactly right. You often get university graduates going abroad in cleaning jobs. You often get Filipinos who have got cum laude, or fantastic qualifications, and are very, very educated, earning more money abroad as a domestic worker as they would in the Philippines with their qualifications. So, just have respect. This is all I'm saying, to all my friends in the Middle East, just have some respect. Just try paying a little bit more as well, £100 a month or £150 a month for working 16-hour days and not seeing your children from one year to the next. You really need to start treating your Filipino workers better. Otherwise, trust me, there will come a day where they will no longer go abroad and you won't have them anymore. Everybody that I speak to always tells me how caring the Filipino people are, and they would love their relatives to be looked after by a Filipino. Wherever I see Filipino nurses, wherever I see Filipino care workers, I know that the people being looked after are being given the very best care. Ronalyn from Amman, hi, how are you? Sherelle from Abu Dhabi, Maraming Salamat. Thanks for your understanding working in Hong Kong. Somebody else just wanted to try and get added, so I'll just see if I can add them to the conversation. To Glory, watching from Kuwait, hi. To Riz, thanks so much. To Greg, watching from Singapore, hi. To Lily, watching from I've been to Dubai, many times. Let's just hear from Elsa, who was joining the conversation, but now she's cut off. I've been to Dubai many times, and I've seen, heard from Filipinos who tell me they share a room with 5 or 6 other people. And, it's all very well if you're fit or if you're healthy. But the second you start becoming sick, you're sent straight back to the Philippines. Is this a decent life? Is this the quality of life that Filipinos deserve? That's the reality of it. Working a week and earning £150 when your employers are incredibly rich and incredibly well off. Start paying Filipinos more money for what they do. Otherwise, they will not go to the Middle East anymore. The government has already clamped down on countries that Pinoys can go to, Vivian, hi. Powers watching from Amman, hi. NN watching from Abu Dhabi. Nasitas, Mais is not welcome in the Philippines. Watching from Cyprus. See, that's the thing, Mais has apologized. And, I'm grateful for the apology and I appreciate the apology. But I wonder why she apologized. Did she apologize because she genuinely meant it? Or did she apologize because she knew it would affect her career? Or, you know, that Filipinos will be angry with her? Is that the reason why she apologized? And if she makes fun of Filipinos, what's she doing in her own house? Does she have Filipino workers? Is she making a joke out of them? You know, these are the questions that we need to be asking. Alice watching from Saudi Arabia. Hi, kamusta ka? Freddie, thanks so much. Mahalika Romeo Santos, thanks so much. Lita watching from Alain, thank you. Rowena watching from Taiwan. See, this is the thing, you know, I'm getting messages right now from Filipinos across the globe, from every country on the planet. This tells me, you know, that the world is propped up, if you like, or supported by Filipinos. You know, they are a race who are hardworking, who are caring, who are loving, who are respectful to their elders. You know, so don't make fun of them. Does it really matter if they pronounce things in a certain way? You know, we're not all perfect. Is it really an issue? Is it something that should be made fun of? No, it isn't. Yami, Hami, sir, good evening, either good morning or good afternoon, watching here in Kuwait City. Proud Filipino, thank you for sharing about this. I'm so flattered. Shirley watching from Singapore. Annalisa, I salute you for what you're doing for our country. You know, it's not about me. It's about every single one of you, every single Pinoy around the world who's making that sacrifice, who's not able to see their children grow up, who's missing out on their children's graduation, missing out on when their children learn to walk. You know, I couldn't be away from my children for a day, let alone for year upon year upon year. You know, this is the sacrifice that you're all making, and every single one of you is a hero of the Philippines. The Philippines is very proud of you. You know, as I said, you contribute towards the gross domestic product of the Philippines. You know, without your services abroad, the Middle East would be a very different place. So thank you so much. I'm just about to leave soon. Melkor, she's mocking our accent without even knowing that we are adjusting them to Egyptians because they are poor in pronunciation, sad to say. That's exactly right. You know, we could all make fun of other people's accents as well. You know, I can make fun of your name, Mais. Mais is corny. You know, you're corny. You know, you're not of any substance. You're corny. Irma watching from Sydney. Thanks so much. Guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate you sharing this video. I really do hope that the people will be treated better and that Filipinos will be treated with all the respect that they deserve. Nicetas said a good point here. She apologized because she is ashamed herself because all the people not happy bullying a Filipino. She said that she only made it for a joke, but we feel hurt and pain. Daesh, I'm so proud to be Filipino. Thank you for supporting us, working as a nurse. You know, without Filipino nurses, you know, the world would be a very dark place indeed. Without the caring attitude of nurses, you know, and the profession, you know, nurses, you know, when in the UK, we used to have nursing colleges where nurses studied how to make beds and how to clean, you know, and how to look after the whole patient. But now, unfortunately, a lot of it has all become about coming out like targets and everything like that. You know, nursing has changed in the UK, but Filipino nurses, I have to say, are respected the world over because their caring attitude. Evelyn watching from Dubai, hi. Lalaine, thank you for your, appreciate your concern, but right now Mais Hamdan has already apologized. She felt sorry for what she did. Excellent, thank you for apologizing. As I've said a few times in this video as well, your apology is very welcome. However, you're not the only person who's made fun of Filipinos or treated Filipinos disrespectfully, you know, and it's not acceptable. Anyway, some people want to join the broadcast. I'm just going to see if I can allow somebody to join our broadcast. Maik, thank you very much. Very nice of you. Juvie here. Hi, Juvie. Thanks so much. Jalita, watching from the UAE. Hi. So we have I think might try and join the broadcast. Grace, watching from Darwin, Australia. Thanks so much. Amina, thank you for watching. So Marie, thank you so much, Philippines. Thank you so much to all the OFWs around the world for everything you're doing. It's so appreciated. Your sacrifices make a massive difference to the world, you know, and your love and care that you show to others makes this world a better place. Thanks so much, guys. God bless. Maraming salamat po, Filipinos. And of course, a shout out to President Duterte, the greatest president the Philippines has ever had. Thanks so much, guys.